I was fully, waiting for it. Ah!
G'day, I'm Harry and welcome to the Loot Drop. How about that Tears of the Kingdom, eh? I'm about 130 hours in and I still keep getting surprised, which got me racking my brain trying to think of the last time a big AAA game genuinely surprised me with some new idea or mechanic, and I'm drawing a blank. I mean, back in the day when developers were still finding their feet, they weren't afraid to get weird and try new things. Everything was basically new. Devs were like, how about if you were a plumber? How about if you were a falling block? How about if you were a dot-eating, ghost-dodging yellow circle thing? And we were like, yeah, okay. Then when things really shifted to 3D, whole new genres would just keep cropping up. You've got your whose footprints are these? Your run and jump arounds, and of course your I'm a tiny prince that rolls objects up into giant spheres to appease the king of all cosmos, who's also my dad's. And even as we went into HC in the 360 and PS3 era, we've got that big jump in hardware power, which made it feel like all those ideas could be really taken to the next level. But for the last few generations, it feels like innovation has just stagnated. AAA gaming has grown into such a massive beast that it feels like it's become almost impossible for anything at that level to actually surprise us. I mean, I get it. When games cost hundreds of millions of dollars and take studios half a decade or even more to make, they really can't afford to take huge risks. Which is why we end up with like 1,000 versions of the same handful of games. Your shoot stuff in first persons, your shoot stuff in third persons, your vehicular racings, your run around and caught aliens / creatures. Oh, and look, someone's made another Souls-like. Didn't see that coming. Now, don't get me wrong, we've seen some awesome games as developers have had time to refine their ideas and hone their craft. Seeing developers evolve things like Demon's Souls into Elden Ring, Crash Bandicoot into The Last of Us, and Quap into Death Stranding has been awesome.
I mean, yeah, but it is a little sad though, isn't it? I mean, games can be about literally anything, and we're just seeing bigger and prettier versions of things we've already played. I mean, looking at like Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, that's just Far Cry with blue aliens. Yeah, it looks really pretty, and we all know I love blue aliens, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying a little bit of AAA level spectacle, but we've already played that game.
Also, Overwatch 2 is literally just an Overwatch update.
And don't forget Starfield. It looks great, sure, but it is also Skyrim in space. And we all know what Skyrim in space is, and basically from that, we know exactly what we're gonna be getting before we even touch it. Again, Skyrim in space.
In space! How many Call of Duties and Assassin's Creeds can we really take before it all just becomes one big mush in our minds?
I mean, thankfully, we have had an explosion of excellent indie developers over the last few generations to pick up the slack and actually take risks and make that cool, weird stuff. I mean, hey, not to plug, but go play Oxenfree and its sequel, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
And see Jem's review for it.
Yeah, go do that.
Yeah. And that's where all the cool stuff from the olden days is happening. Some of my favorite games in the last few years have been indie games.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite indie devs, New Blood, say, I'd rather play a game that's exciting to play but ugly to look at than a game that's boring to play and pretty to look at.
I won't lie, I still love big epics, and I fully admit to being at least a little curious to see what Starfield turns out to be, even if it is space Skyrim. I'm a big optimist who's easily dazzled, I can't help it. But hopefully as this generation goes on and developers get their hands on even better software and hardware and get into that mid to late generation groove, we'll finally start seeing some AAA games that can truly surprise us again. But what do you guys reckon? Are you bored with the same old AAA games getting reskinned over and over? Or do you just, like me, love the spectacle of a big budget action every now and then? Let us know in the comments.
What would you do with $1 million?
Ooh, buy a house. What about you?
I would buy a bubble tea stand.
I love that.
What about you?
Probably just release another incomplete game, hey. Or I could use $1 million to get AI to make my box art. Oh, I could use it to give my CEO a bonus. Use it to stop my employees from unionizing. Fund an influencer-led marketing campaign for a game that's not ready yet, but we're just gonna release it anyway. I know what I'd do. I just use it to fund another installment in a long-running franchise, of course.
Money can get to $1 million?
You can get to $2 million.
Now it's time for my favourite segment where we share news too small to elaborate on, but too big to ignore. It's barely news.
Riot Games' fighting game, codenamed Project L, will feature a duo play system where you can play on a team with a friend to fight another duo or control two characters yourself and tag team them out. It's barely news!
News. The PAX Oz Indie Showcase winners have been announced and they are...
A Copycat, a narrative-driven cat-based game.
Next one's Crash Course Builder, which is an endless runner/rhythm game that supports player-generated level building.
Which sounds really cool. Speaking of really cool, Dark Web Streamer. Dark Web Streamer is an horror RPG streaming sim, which apparently is a genre now, and I can totally get into that.
That's right up your alley. And the next one's Primordial Legends Hollow Hero. In Primordial Legends Hollow Hero, you play as Brunt, a mace and shield-wielding wombat who's on a quest to save her people.
I love the name Brunt. The Drifter. The Drifter is a point-and-click adventure thriller whose protagonist is trying to solve the mystery of his own death while at the same time trying to maintain his sanity.
Last but not least, the Dungeon Experience, which is a tour through a fancy dungeon run by a level 1 mud crab. Need I say more? Yeah! Watch the dev profile we did on Jacob Janerka. It's real good. It's on our YouTube. Barely used! That's the Loot Drop coming out this week.
Stray Gods coming to PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC.
Atlas Fallen on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC.
And Stray coming to Xbox. Thanks so much for watching another episode of The Loot Drop. Make sure to catch us on all our socials, TikTok and YouTube. We have streams coming every Thursday at 4 p.m, so be there or be square. Harry, what else do we have coming up?
Some big things coming out.
Nothing coming to mind? You want to air any grievances?
No, it's just not very solid yet. There's no fart box.
That's what 3 million gets you. Harry, what else do we have coming out? No.
I don't know. Didn't, the timing.
What's coming out? My resignation. That's what's coming out.
Who's holding the camera?